I love everybody who's announcer. I did feel like there was a lot of bias towards Nick to win. And, like, there were some poses that I thought that they were like, oh, Nick's got this, and I just didn't see. Do I think Derek should have won? I honestly, for me, it was a toss-up. It completely was a toss-up. I could understand 100% why the scores were tied. Like, because I'm looking back and forth. It's like, okay, Nick's hamstrings, Derek's glutes, the detail in Nick, the width of Derek. You know, like you're nitpicking back and forth. And to be honest with you, like they have totally two different types of physiques. So it's like now you're like condition, size, freakiness, aesthetics. Like you're like I could have gone either way. I understand why Derek won. I wouldn't sit there and be like, Nick got completely robbed. Do I think Nick coming back and looking like that after everything is fucking insane?
Yeah.
Insane. And my favorite part about the whole thing is Bob Chick talking mad shit.
Oh,
and then being like, he's not even the top 8 in the world. What do you mean?
That's why I wanted Nick to win, to be honest. I wanted to see that interview on stage. I was like, I'm waiting for it, and then Derek won.
But even in second, it's just like, listen, motherfucker, I was second. Fuck you.
Not really second. You were like, he was like,
yeah.
He was tied.
Yeah.
He was tied.
They had to do this sudden death thing.
Tied to the best in the world.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Fuck, it's crazy.
I thought Martin was a little off. I'm okay with when Martin placed, Bonac placed, Crizo. Like that's kind of like how I kind of saw it happening.
Mm-hmm.
But the controversy was obviously the top 2. So, passing the torch to you, Morgan.
I mean, I think I have like a similar opinion to you. Like I see why they picked Derek, but at the same time, like I wouldn't have been mad about Nick winning. Like that coming back, like arguably one of his best looks ever. He looked absolutely huge. Legs looked good. Back shots were good. I think it just came down to Derek just with the aesthetics and the shape. You know, I think the judges kind of made a bit of a statement here because you have Nick coming back, arguably his best ever. Derek a little off compared to his look at the Arnold. A little not quite as full, not quite as conditioned. And then they still gave, him the nod. It was super tight. It was super tight. Looking at the pictures, I had moments where I thought they were going to give it to Nick, for sure. But then at the same time, there was just certain shots where Nick's waist looked kind of blocky, and that's where Derek really shined. Just maintaining that like aesthetic look with the size, with the width, and all these things. I think Nick obviously wins the power shots. You could argue for him on the side shots, but I still think overall, Derek's back was probably still a bit better, even though he was a little bit, what seemed like not as full from the Arnold.
Do you think if Nick had better control of his midsection, not saying it was not in control, but better control, like remember when he came out and then all of a sudden his abs were super crisp when he flattened them out? You can flatten your abs versus like crunch on them, right? He flattened the abs and they're very distinct, very separated. Do you think if he did that like Hottie did at Arnold, where his midsection was like 110% tight every microsecond from the time he hit the stage that he got off, do you think that would have helped him at all?
Yeah, absolutely. So here's the thing, and this is why, like, you see people getting so frustrated in the comments of Instagram posts, right? But we say this time and time again, like you cannot judge a show based off pictures because Nick every time he had the abs locked and they were showing and separated, it almost looked like he won all those poses. But there's so much time on stage that we're not seeing as people just looking at pictures on Instagram where his waist was probably not looking that great. Because even in some of the pictures, his waist wasn't looking that great, especially on the front lat spread. Some of the front doubles didn't look that great. So I would imagine that there was a good amount of time on stage where the judges kept seeing his waist not looking great, and then Derek's holding this crazy V-taper. And I think that matters, So, I think that would have played a huge impact on the show and placement.
I kind of wanted Nick to win. I mean, I did.
Yeah, it would have been awesome. I kind of feel bad for Nick, honestly, right now because of how good he looked, and then the fact that he was so on, Derek was off slightly, and he still got beat. So that's kind of tough.
It's like losing a boxing match when somebody hurt their right arm.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's a tough one, but
Xavier?
At the same time, I think Nick would have gained a lot of fans. Like, he gained so many fans back this weekend. So, obviously, he loses out on $50,000 USD, which sucks, and obviously not getting the Olympia qualification. But he gained a lot of fans. Like, my comment section, like when I was just doing the live watch along, like they were going like nuts. Like, as soon as Derek won, it was just Rob, politics. It was like, he's sponsored by New Tech, this, that. It's like people were going nuts.
Sponsored by New Tech.
Yeah. That was a big thing in my comments. Like, New Tech. And heaps of people commenting. It was pretty funny.
Fucking New Tech controls everything like Blackwater.
Yeah, exactly.
That's funny.
But like, Nick looked amazing. Like, I was surprised he came back as good as he did, because I look back at the New York Pro pictures from last year. I'm like, was he that off? And I'm like, okay, on retrospect, he wasn't like he was like that badly off or anything like that. And he still beat Martin Fitzwater last year, but he was notably improved from that package. So I thought, and I was thinking to myself, I'm like, am I just thinking that Nick's winning based on the fact that he improved so much and Derek went back slightly? And I'm like, is that like blurring my field of judgment like when I'm trying to judge that? But I did have Nick winning, but sort of the same as you, Chris, a little bit. Like, after watching it and going back on more photos and looking at it and analyzing it more, I'm like, it really, and even when I was watching it live, I was like, this could go either way. But that wasn't even a popular opinion, like, amongst the fans. They're like, be honest, Xavier, Derek's off, you're just sucking his dick, all that sort of talk. But yeah, I think honestly, Derek wasn't at the Arnold level. He was just a couple of percent off, and on Derek, that looks like maybe 5% off. But at the same time, you look at him, he's still got the striated glutes. He's still got stuff that he never used to have when he's in 212. So he's still bringing, a ton more muscle and a really good look. But yeah, that was a close battle for me, which obviously was reflected on the judges' scorecards. And that's, 50% of the judges had him winning, 50% didn't, basically, after prejudging and finals. And it really, it came down to the finals, which I sort of said that, finals are sort of more important when it's close, because if there's going to be a tie break, it comes down to how you look at that finals. So, yeah. I think, I'm not totally upset about the decision. Like, I'm disgusted in it or anything like that, like some people. But yeah, I could definitely seen it going Nick's way, and probably would have had it that way myself from the video and watching it. And it was super high quality with Gilco doing it too. So I feel like Gilco should do all the shows, so we can actually get a look at what everyone looks like.
Was great.
Yeah, it was awesome.
What, Gilco did the live stream?
Yeah, and it was such high quality.
Oh,
it was nice.
That's
man.
the move.
Yeah, that is
the move. Now it's going to be a game changer for anybody else who does it any other way. It's like, that's the new standard. But like what you said about Derek, it's like, are we judging Derek, on this last look? Because that Arnold look was insane. So people are like, oh, he's off. But like, as soon as you raise the bar, people assume that you're going to bring that same look every single time.
Yeah, it's like the Dexter Jackson thing,
Yeah.
yeah.
Dude, you know what's fucked up about this? Think about this, right? Is you're going in as a tie and it's that close. Your fucking hair could matter at that point. You know what I mean? It's like you're smiling. Like, if your color is like a little splotchy, gonna give it to the other guy.
Yeah.
You a little too much oil on your right quad, can't see the detail, go on the other guy. Like, every detail matters at that point.
I think the freakiness of Nick Walker pops out more, but that's a classical, typical, American side chest from Derek there. It's like, this is squared up. It's really nice too.
Dude, look at the waist on Nick. Look how small it is in the ab and thigh.
Yeah, he's sucked it in. He's like, is it as wide as Derek's?
It's narrower than Derek's.
Would you give it to the Nick, that pose, actually?
I would give it to Nick in this one.
I think I
don't
would.
know. Derek's lats are a lot bigger.
Yeah, true.
So you're looking at the whole V taper of the ab and thigh as well.
Yeah, but how do you even judge these poses then? Is it like, I guess that's why the judging, the judge will oh, I like a V taper on the abs and thighs. No, I like the abs really sucked in.
It's subjective. That's why
it's
you get
subjective, right? And this is
the
why
highest and lowest score.
Yeah, this is why you get guys who have been doing it for 30 years, I guess, to Weinberger's judging.